The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of the staff or management of Visionary Related Entertainment.
Aloha and welcome everyone to Maui Nonprofit Notes, the weekly radio show where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support the needs within our community. Maui Nonprofit Notes is generously sponsored by Pacific Source. If you're building or remodeling a home, you've just got to check out Pacific Source's cabinet and appliance showroom located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and President of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. And it's my pleasure to introduce, I remember you.
It's been a while, I know.
Sherry Dodson from Habitat for Humanity, Maui.
I know it has been a while.
It has.
I've missed you.
You did. Oh, gee. We've missed you too. I've had to do it all by myself.
I'm sorry.
Aww.
What in?
There for a while we had this going regularly.
I know. I've
And
been
then
busy.
You got busy, yeah.
But we won't talk about me.
Okay.
Each week during this hour, we share the experiences of how our nonprofit agencies are working to benefit our island home, with stories of how these agencies are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope for those in need. Today we have
Shannon Carrier.
Oh, that was good. We said it together. From Maui Family Support Services. Hi, Shannon.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome,
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome back.
Yes.
It's good to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to see you too,
I
Susan.
think your title changed since the last time you were here.
Yes.
Yeah,
change.
now he's the big shot. Director? No.
Director of Ohana Support Services.
That's a director.
It is a director.
That's a big job.
It is.
You're the one that accidentally answered your cell phone yesterday afternoon.
That's right.
And that's why he's here today. Aha.
Well, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for
You
having
got
me.
anything coming up? And
Yeah, actually we do. This coming Saturday at Queen Kahumanu Center, we have our 18th annual Stand for Children rally and celebration. And it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And this is, like I said, it's our 18th annual. This is a big event for us. We have the mayor coming to make a proclamation proclaiming the day is Stand for Children Day.
so everybody just comes to Kahumanu and stands up?
Yeah, comes and stands up, right? So
Stay standing.
stay standing the whole
From 10 to 2.
It's like a stand-a-thon instead of a telethon.
Ah.
No, actually, it's not a stand-a-thon. It's a great event for the whole family. We have several partner agencies that come and set up interactive booths for the children and the parents, and give out information and have games and prizes, and we do giveaways and drawings and lots of live entertainment as well.
So the information gathering and stuff, what are people going to find out if they go to this event?
So most of the information will be along the lines of for children, services and programs that are available to help children, to help families, giving them the tools and resources that they may need to be more successful at helping their kids. And
Family
standing with them.
strengthening, that type of stuff.
family
Yeah.
strengthening for sure.
What age group are we talking about for the children?
It's actually open to any age group, really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've had in the events in the past. It's the whole gamut, from teenagers all the way down to the little bitty kiddos. So it's great.
Okay.
It's a great event. It's really great.
Can you give us a little sneak peek of what the entertainment's going to be?
We have several different halaus that'll be there performing, even a keiki Tahitian
Oh,
dance
how
halau.
cute.
So that is great.
I love those little kids.
Yeah. The looks on their faces.
They have
Yeah.
no
When
idea
they're-
that they're shaking, shaking like that.
It's
As I shake in
amazing.
my seat.
Yeah, it's amazing to me to even that they can do that. With they're so little, they don't even have hips, but they can make it move.
And they wear those big things on their head that look like they're going to topple over any minute.
Yes, yeah.
Very
So
cute.
that's some of the key performers that are going to be there, and then we have some Hawaiian music and different things like that as well.
Well, fun.
So
What a fun day.
So are you going to be doing any kind of testing or just more information?
more
kinds of stuff?
information giving. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean the parents that are bringing their kids or that are coming to this event have issues that they're trying to figure out. This is
No.
just about kids.
It's just about kids. It's just about setting aside a day to really, it's to honor children and to honor families and really encourage raising awareness, standing for children and preventing, abuse and neglect in children, and letting the children in the community know that there are adults that genuinely love them and support them and want to have their best and their well-being in mind. So,
Very good.
And what other agencies will be there?
off the top of my head, Friends of the Children's Justice Center will be there, and MEO will be there. There's several different agencies that will be present. I don't have the list in front of me at this point.
All agencies, though, that
Yeah,
serve kids or families
yes,
in one way or another.
exactly. And we've actually sent out invitations to over 40 different agencies, inviting them to come and be a part of this. I know the fire department usually comes and sets up a booth, and the police department come and set up a booth, and they do a little fingerprinting and all of that kind of stuff. So
Do the police still do the IDs, or somebody used to do the IDs, for kids, or they take pictures of them?
they have in the past. I'm not sure if they're doing that this year or not.
That's such a good idea.
No, it is. It's
Yeah.
a great idea.
What a fun day for kids, though. So if you're not doing anything, you got to head to Queen Ka'ahumanu Center Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 and
Yes.
play some games, listen to some great music, and
Yes.
watch some cute kids shake their little booties. Adorable.
I know the picture that I'm getting. It's on your mind, right? Because it sits there, because they are so adorable when they're out there at that age.
Yeah, for sure. It's a neat event to see all the kids come together and get to perform in front of all their friends and family. And usually, I know last year we had over 450 people that came to the event
Wow.
and watched and were a part of that. So that was great. It's a great exposure for these halaus and stuff as well, and these
very
little
good.
kiddos.
Now, besides putting on wonderful events like this, what else do you do in
Well-
your job?
Aha, gee, I'm so glad you asked.
Well, I'm glad
he's
you
just
asked.
he's just sitting there waiting to talk about fatherhood.
Yeah, so one of the main areas of responsibility that I have is overseeing our fatherhood involvement team. And it is a program that is designed to give dads the tools they need to be better dads. We work with all dads, male caregivers, grandfathers, all of that. We find that most of them, it's not that they don't want to be a good father. A lot of times it's just they don't have the tools. Maybe their dads were extremely busy working 2 or 3 jobs to provide for their families and put food on the table, and so maybe they didn't have quite that example that they needed, of what it looks like to have an active, involved, healthy, involved father. And so that's our goal. It's not just having a dad around, sitting there with the remote. It's actually having a healthy, engaged father that's working to build relationship and be a good support and be someone that can help believe in their kids and give them, everything they need to support them as kids. So.
And how do you do that? How do you do you do it with classroom type training, or?
Yes, actually, we have 2 main components that we are currently using. We have a group that meets once a week on Tuesday nights, and at 6 p.m. at our facility. And that is just a group format. Dads come together. It's not a support group. It's a group where they just get together and talk.
It's not a poker game.
Yeah, it's not a poker game.
With cigars.
No cigars.
The stakes are much higher.
Yeah, the stakes are much higher.
Absolutely.
We basically just really give them an opportunity to talk story. We usually have some kind of food, to eat, and we'll go through one of the main curriculums that we do use is a curriculum called 24/7 Dad. And again, it's designed, it's put out by the National Fatherhood Initiative, and it's a curriculum that's designed to work with dads and help just give them the essential skills of connecting with their kids and working with them from that angle.
Do you see a lot of single dads?
We do have a lot of single dads. We have a lot of, in fact, we probably have a large portion of single dads that are part of our program, and then we have some that are not, single dads. It's interesting. Our program, it's not just for dads that are in trouble. It's for any dad. It's for any dad that's looking for just an extra, I need an idea, something to help, give me some clearer ideas of what I can do with my kids, Because sometimes you think, man, all my kids want to do is sit around and watch TV or play video games, and so we really give strategies on how to maybe engage your kids to get them off the couch, get them out, off the computer, and do something as old school as going out in the yard and just goofing around,
Throw that ball back and forth. And
right.
What's that commercial that's on TV where that dad goes out with his
hysterical.
kid and they're trying to throw that ball and they look so awful.
Yeah.
And you realize why. You don't teach fathers how to throw a ball.
No, we don't. That's not one of the. But maybe maybe I need to add that to our repertoire of skills that we focus on.
But it's that kind of thing, and it's we think it seems so natural.
Yeah.
But it's not for everyone. I mean, unless you were brought up in those kinds of situations where the family went out and did things together, went to the beach together, had family gatherings where dad and, uncles and so forth were all there to be a part of that activity that we don't realize what's missing for those who don't have that.
Well, and it's amazing too, just some of the simple things that we really probably kind of take for granted. Just what does it look like to sit around the table and have a meal together as a family?
Not with the TV on.
Not with the TV on, sitting in the living room all around our TV trays, watching the game or something, but actually engaging in conversation. And, I try to practice that personally with my own children. And we have dinner around the table together at least 3 times a week, where we set as an opportune time. We're going to do this. I don't care if you've got sports. These nights you're going to be home. We're going to sit around the dinner table and just hear about their day. And it's amazing how much the kids start coming alive when you just start asking them, so what was your day like? And then they start telling you, and then you're like, oh wow,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the exchange is amazing.
I would think that a single father trying to raise a daughter would have, because usually when you have a female around, they can do the talks or they can understand what a young teenager, especially a young girl teenager, is going through. But it must be really difficult for a guy to have to deal with that.
Yeah, it can be challenging. I mean, I have all girls. I have all daughters. I grew up with all sisters, and so
it's
I
natural
don't.
for you.
For me, it's natural. I don't even. If I had a son, I don't even know if I know what to do with it. What do I do with you?
For you, you'd have to do the training. Just
I'd have to do a training how to
deal with a son.
Deal with a son. Yeah. So, I think that can be a challenge too. And there's. What we want to do is we want to give resources and even help in the situation where the dad's not actively involved. Maybe there's reasons he can't be in the home or where he has to be separate. And so, giving those dads some of the resources and tools of how they can engage, or dads that are coming out of the military, coming out of the prison system. Even working with them to give them the tools of how to re-engage and actively become a part of their kids' lives. It's a challenge. This is a major issue, and it's something that obviously I'm passionate about because we're living it. And you talk to these dads, and I have yet to meet one who's messed up, who wanted to mess up. They really want help. They really want to be there for their kids. They really want to engage in their kids' lives, and whether it's drugs or whatever it is that's caused the mess up where they just can't do it, to be able to come alongside of them. And I've got a great team. We've got 2 staff here on Maui. I've got a part-time person on Lanai and one on Molokai. And we really focus working with the dads there, and it's an overwhelming task in the aspect of there's so much more need than what we can facilitate.
But don't you think that if you taught one dad how to be a good dad, maybe he's talking to his neighbor, his coworker.
Yeah.
So maybe you're affecting a lot more than you think.
Well, that's what's interesting. In fact, one of our current staff guys actually went through the program. He was a dad that was in our Tuesday night group and loved what happened when we had a vacancy come up in a position. He applied for the position, and he's now one of our staff
Terrific.
Who is working with dads, and told me this morning, he said, Shannon, I have a letter that I got last night from one of the dads that I've been working with. who says this program has absolutely changed his life. He can communicate with his mom or his wife better, his kids, and everything.
Oh, wow. That's what you want to hear.
That is.
Yeah, and on that note, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with Shannon.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And we are back. This is Maui Nonprofit Notes, where we talk story with the staff of various agencies to find out what they are up to. And we are learning today about Maui Family Support Services big, what is it, annual stand up
Stand Up for Children rally.
Yes.
Yeah, like I knew that. I had to look it up too. I'm sorry.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's great. And before the break, we were talking about Shannon's number one program in his book, the fatherhood involvement team. And during the break, we were talking a little bit about the conversation that takes place with a father who's trying to get re-involved with his children, and how that can be a total turn off or turn on depending on how it goes. And in these sessions that you have on the Tuesday nights, that's got to be a major part of the discussion, is how to talk to the kids.
Absolutely. Communication is key. It's a foundational element to any relationship, and especially when it comes to children. And so learning how to communicate adequately with your kids can definitely be a challenge, especially if there's been a stress in a relationship. And sometimes you stand to the side and you're watching the conversations happen, and it's like a train wreck. You see, oh, he shouldn't have said that, or oh, the kid shouldn't have responded that way, and before you know it, it's a huge mess. And so
I remember having difficulty, talking to my dad. He was a horrible teaser. Everything you said, he'd make a joke out of it. And, as a young teenager, I was like, no, it's not funny.
Well, and a lot of times that's just because he's not secure with how to communicate with you. And so it's kind of a natural defense if I make jokes about it or tease about it. And it's like, Dad, you're never serious. Oh, yeah, you're right. And so that's one of the areas that we do work with, and just kind of we even do some role playing and stuff with the dads.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That should be so simple as to just toss the kid the ball and say, let's go play.
Right.
Let's go play. That's what I do to my dogs, and it works.
And it works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not so much with kids. Huh?
Not so much with kids.
Yeah.
Just
we're going to talk story about some of the other programs that Maui
absolutely.
Family Support Services has, and you do have a lot of them.
Yes, we do. My Family Support Services is a very well-rounded organization, and the fatherhood component is just a piece of a more holistic approach where we're looking for the whole family. So we have our early Head Start program. We have our EID and ORS program, which is actually a program that goes into the hospital to identify, and it's like outreach specialist is what it stands for. And they actually are in the hospital when a mom has a new baby.
Oh.
And so they're kind of the first contact after the nurses for somebody that offers them resources that are available in the community as a whole.
It can be scary, especially if you're a first-time parent, and if you happen to be a single mom too, or don't have a your own mom hanging around.
Absolutely. And so these this team that come in they're just phenomenal and amazing, and see basically every mother that delivers gets a visit from these ladies.
What a fun job.
So, yeah,
that's
little
what
babies,
I think. Yeah.
My neighbor did that for a while for Maui Family Support Services, and she just said it was It was so awesome. You know, you're looking for the key signs where there could be some problems coming down the road, but you're also there to enjoy that moment with them.
Yeah.
And she said it was better than having her own kids.
A lot of things are better than having your own kids. Just me personally, I'm saying. What? Sorry, Shannon. What else?
We also have our Enhanced Healthy Start program. And
Is that about food, or is that about?
No, it's a program that works with families that have had that need extra support in mainly areas dealing with child welfare services and some of the
Okay,
other
okay.
programs like that. So they come along and really give that a real three-prong approach, working with the families and helping just bring health and stability there. And then we have our Teen Voices program, which is our program that works with the teens in the schools. And let's see, we have our Healthy Start program, and again, that's another program that is working with the moms with the little kiddos. And there are programs that we have in Molokai and Lanai as well. And so, yeah, there's a whole gamut of different programs.
So the best bet is if you're having any kind of question or issue or anything with a family issue or one of your kids or anything, then just call and see where you fit in this, because chances are Maui Family Support Service will have something they
Some
can help
program
you.
for you.
Something to help and
Now,
offer you.
Early Head Start is what age group? 0
to 3.
to 3.
Yeah. 0 to
And then
3.
they go on into Head Start.
Yes.
0. How
That's-
early do you learn, or can you help a child like that?
Well, it's actually interesting. They've identified that a lot of our programs are targeting school readiness, and so it's beginning with even the little bitty ones that can't even walk, can't even crawl yet. You're beginning to just work with life skill type things, and then you're beginning to work with colors and words and talking to them and interacting with them.
It's like those baby gym classes where they have, you obviously don't have kids, but I know they have those baby and me classes where you go and, they stretch out the little baby's arms, little gymnastics for little babies. They're adorable.
Another side of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were talking about your children. What age? How old are your kids?
My oldest daughter just turned 18.
Whoa!
Wow, you don't look like you could have an 18-year-old daughter.
I thought he was going to say 18 months.
I thought she was going to say 8.
No.
Is she off to college? Or?
She is actually in Orlando, Florida, going to cosmetology school there at an Aveda Institute.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so we dropped her off there this summer, and she'll be there for 13 months. She's planning on coming back to Maui after she finishes her schooling.
Oh, great.
And then my second daughter is a junior at Kinkekaliki High School. And our youngest daughter is 10 years old. And so, yeah.
Cool. So you've gone through the family thing. So you're right there with
I have gone through this family thing.
all the ins and outs and ups and downs and so forth.
The dating.
Uh,
My dad used to just have a big old rifle waiting on the table when they walked in.
yeah.
You're gonna have her home by 10:30, right? Okay.
My brother-in-law told my niece that when she turned 14, okay, you're locked in your room now until you're 23.
Yeah, that
I don't think it
thought
even.
has
I
entered my
don't.
mind.
I don't think it even helps when they're 23 or 24. They just get prettier and more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it gets worse. And then it's legal to date and all that stuff. My father never got over it. He just assumed after we were married that we'd never had sex too.
Yeah.
Even though my sister had 2 kids, she said, "Yeah, no, never had it."
No. Okay.
He did not want to know.
If you say so, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Living in that fantasy world.
Yeah, it definitely makes it interesting living in a house full of women. Especially
good, right?
during certain times of months and hormones and all of that stuff. It just makes
It's fun, right?
it's a party.
It's a party.
Drive you to drink.
Oh, no. In his case, it drives him to help everybody else
That's right.
understand
It
what's
tries us
going
to
on.
help everybody
Really,
else
I'm
what's
sure
going
that you can relate when the fathers say, "Oh, this happened." Yeah, 3 times.
Yep. Understand.
Went through that twice.
Yeah. Well, that's the cool thing is because you never master it. I mean, it's a constant learning process, and every one of my daughters are different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like
What you learned with the first one didn't work with the second one, etc. Yeah.
no. And your parenting style changes. with
Okay, whatever.
everyone,
Yeah, whatever time you want to come home.
It's like, what? You never used to let me. I know. We've just changed. It's sorry, you were number one. You know, it's
So who did the most growing up? You or the kids?
probably my wife and I
Yeah.
did the most growing up.
It's very true. I look back on, when I was a kid and looked up on my mom and I thought she knew everything. And now when my godchildren and my nephews and nieces look up to me, they think I know everything. I just want to kind of go, yeah, I do. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had a conversation with my daughter today. She called and she texted me, said, "Hey, do you have a minute just to talk?" And I was like, "Yeah." So she called.
You better
me.
say
Yeah,
yes.
obviously. And she ended up telling me, she's just talking, and in the course of the conversation, when I become a parent, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, wait a minute. And she even said, I know that's some of the stuff that you did that I was like, no, I hate these rules. I hate this stuff. But they worked, and I'm going to use them too.
There's the sign of success right
Sign of
there.
success.
Yes.
So I was relieved.
Wow. Well, congratulations to
thank
you and to the Maui Family Support Services and the big event coming up this Saturday. We're looking at from 10 to 2 at Queen Ka'ahumanu Center, the 18th Annual Stand for Children Rally and Celebration. Have a great day.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Shan, it's always great to have you with us. And we're going to shift gears now a little bit, and we're going to talk to, who are we talking to next?
I don't know, there's just some guy lurking in the back here. I'm not sure who he is, but oh, that would be Paul Tonneson. Come on up here.
Come on up, Paul,
From Friends of the Children's Justice Center.
who's also involved in this event on Saturday.
He's one of my buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a new member of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Board of Directors. He sort of got put on rather, I wouldn't say abruptly, because we talked about it quite late, that we just forgot to tell him he was going to be on the board.
Right.
Yeah, when I showed up at a meeting and you congratulated me.
That was it, huh? Gotcha. Too
Paul,
cool.
you're kind of new. Tell us a little bit about yourself and, how you came to the Friends.
Actually, I was on the board of directors for the early 2000s, and then when the executive director was retiring a year ago, I applied for the position and obviously got it.
Obviously, you're with us today.
Yeah, and I've been very involved with the Friends for a long time. Something near and dear to my heart, so it's been September 4th was a year as being the executive director, and it's been great.
And Friends of the Children's Justice Center, exactly what do you guys do?
We support children of abuse and or neglect, whether it be physical or sexual abuse. And Shannon, who was just on, we support different agencies. We don't directly deal with the children themselves.
But you guys do have a facility that in Wailuku that is, and I've been there, and it's very nurturing, and children come there.
That's where the children will be taken once the assault has happened, and it is a very nurturing place. And due to a lot of generosity of the community, people have painted murals, and we have stuffed animals everywhere. It's very child friendly.
And so a child might maybe get interviewed or questioned there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like when you watch Law and Order and they bring a child to more of a safe zone for the child, that's the facility where.
So do the police bring them, or prosecutors, or who's there, working with the kids?
Generally, you'll have a social worker with the child welfare service, and the police. Yeah.
To try to get to the bottom of whatever happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So is that actually the Children's Justice Center?
That is the
piece?
Children's Justice Center. So
Okay.
we are friends of the Children's Justice Center. And we go back to 1990. We were founded to support the Children's Justice Center. And actually, it was a bunch of local Rotarians here that really got involved in spearheading that back then. And it was more to support them with clothing and Christmas gifts and And it's just expanded year after year. We've grown tremendously.
So once the children are brought in and interviewed, they could end up in foster care, or they could end up.
Yep, they could end up in foster care. They can stay with the biological parent or parents. Our job, our mission is to start the healing process from that point forward with the child. And that can be medical, it can be educational, it can be toys, clothes.
'Cause sometimes when they're ripped out of, an abusive situation or something, they literally come with nothing, right?
Clothes on their backs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys support them with,
Yeah.
clothing, maybe that doll that'll keep them, feeling normal.
Yep.
A bike or whatever it makes these kids feel normal. It's such a wonderful thing.
Well, it's about trying to rebuild their self-esteem, and
And you also have some things that I kind of astounded here, and I think actually the more I think about it, the better the idea is. You've helped with new parents by giving them the shaken bacon.
It's lunchtime, obviously.
The Shaken
Shaken
Baby DVD, and what an interesting thing. That's like pre-abuse. It's like
It's preventing
preventive.
child abuse.
Yeah.
Correct, and that is part of our mission statement. Prevention is very big to us, and actually, the Shaken Baby syndrome is distributed by Maui Family Support Services.
Ah.
So when they enter the hospital for the newborns, that is part of the toolkit they will utilize to give to the parents.
Oh, great. It seems like when we first talk about Shaken Baby, it's syndrome. It's like surely when you're doing too much or gone too far with trying to. Usually, it's got something to do with them crying or whatever, acting out something. Right. But I guess the more you hear about it, the more you understand that people don't have those lines in their minds.
Well, and it's incredibly stressful being a new parent. I mean, I'm not speaking from experience, but I have been around new parents. You're sleep deprived, especially on your first child, or if you have twins, or if you have multiple children in the house. It can get extremely overwhelming, and, you don't mean to hurt a baby, but you're just at your wit's end.
Well, it's funny because, I volunteer twice a week teaching for Hui Malama, and it's just that people aren't given tools. And again, it goes back to Maui Family Support and a lot of child welfare services, child family services. I mean, they're there to give these people tools they've never had. So when you have a young mother, say she's single, and she's trying to hold a job and have daycare and all these things, I mean, it's just, puts a lot of stress on somebody.
There is no guidebook that comes with all of that.
Correct.
And you do have babies that are different, and babies that are ill, and all kinds of things that happen that are unexpected. That you, aren't prepared for. It's tough.
Right. And
My mother was not prepared for twins. I can tell you that much.
And you happen to be one of those too.
I was one of those, and we drove my mother to violence. Not against us, luckily enough, but against the washing machine, against the wall. I mean, it's tough. I mean, she had a 3-year-old in the house, and then she had twins, and she was working, and she had a very difficult, pregnancy, and was in pain and all that kind of stuff. I'm surprised we made it.
It comes down to support, healthy support. Because a lot of times, if you're brought up in a certain environment, it's normal to you, and then you go and have a child, and you think what you're doing is normal, where it could be actually affecting the child.
Right.
So that's a lot of the agencies here that reach out to, children and their caregivers. I mean, it's to utilize their tools, like the dads that Shannon was talking about. How many dads raised a young kid? They don't know. It's a mother's job according to society. But thank God they have a resource that they can go out there and help them with.
And so you guys basically are you seek funding and items for all these different agencies and for the kids and stuff.
Correct. We're pretty much the silent entity. If you think of a spider web, we're the hub of the web. And we have over 25 social service agencies that come to us to assist the gaps they cannot fill for these children.
Okay. On that note, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
I just love that music.
We can't ever change that music because
no,
you
I
won't
just
know what
start
to do.
dancing. I love it.
She's that's great, as long as you don't get on the table while you're doing that. That's,
Oh, you don't want to see that.
no, not at all. So when we talk about the cycle, if you will, and you mentioned it earlier, and Shannon, of course, mentioned it, we think we came from that normal house or the average household. Then if it happened to not have been an average household, but one where there was abuse, etc. If there's like 4 kids living in that family, in the next generation, you've got 4 new families that are understanding that's the way to live, and it's multiplying.
Correct.
And so you and all the other agencies like Maui Family Support Services are out there trying to break that cycle, and the earlier the better, is what I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, they've been doing a lot of studies, and a child will pick up most of their behaviors from the ages of 0 to 5.
Okay.
And especially if you have, fighting or domestic violence in the house. I mean, and people have not thought, well, it's an infant, they're not going to remember it. It is affecting the child, because that is when we learn, and it's funny because I bring up the scenario. You can watch a dad walk through the mall, and you watch his little 4-year-old or 5-year-old son walking next to him, swinging his arm the same way, because they mimic and they pretty much copy what they're taught.
Interesting.
That's scary, 0
Yeah.
to 5, because a lot of stuff we think, oh, they don't understand what we're saying, which they don't understand what we're saying, but they understand the tone, they understand the behaviors. Yeah. So you have to do a lot of fundraising.
Yeah.
Help all these kids.
Oh, yeah. We got our big one coming up on October 11th.
Fun. Tell us about it.
Every year we do a different theme. It's up at the King Kamehameha Golf Club on October 11th.
It's the Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe House, yep. And it's a great event every year. And this year we're doing the Hollywood 50s theme.
Okay, I wasn't born in the 50s, so what does that mean?
It's just more the glamour from those days, the black and white. We've got a local community member who's bringing in all these cars from the 50s that are going to be parked outside. And we've got the red carpet, and we're actually honoring Sheila Haynes this year. And every year we take and we honor someone different. But we got the past honorees. I'm actually doing it this weekend. We're going to do picture frames with Hollywood lights around the frames.
Oh, nice. You're
So,
doing it, or Richard's doing it?
I'm doing it.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So I can do some
Cool.
things,
Cool.
no matter what's out there in the community about me.
50s cars. I'm trying to remember what they look like.
And
Well, the
what-
big
it's
old
the-
Chevys, the
a lot of them had
57 Chevy.
fins.
Yeah, fins.
That
So it
was the
says
big thing.
50s Hollywood theme and attire.
Correct.
Attire is the one that's
More black and white, people tuxedos and
Poodle
fun,
skirts.
yeah.
and it's not mandatory. It's just, a lot of people do like to go with the theme of the event.
Yeah.
So,
it's fun for people on Maui to be able to not only help a wonderful charity, but to get dressed up and have a good time, because we don't get dressed up around here a lot. So
That's true.
It's the funnest part about, going out, and especially when you're helping the charity, is getting dressed up when you wouldn't be able to.
yeah, and the funny thing is we're sold out, and we always sell out. And someone said, well, don't you want to go bigger or cram more tables in? And we tried that one year, and it was just a disaster. The wait staff couldn't get around. The people that had to sit in the aisles weren't happy. And it's, it's 200 people. It's a perfect amount. And most of the people that attend don't want it bigger. They like the intimacy of the event itself.
And you've got a strong following. You've got a wonderful following of board members and people who support your agency. Because I've been to your event a few times, and they're very powerful people.
Just so you know, my event is totally put on by the board. They do the decorating of the tables. They get up on ladders and do the decorating. We got big 8-foot white Greek columns, and that'll have lights draped and black curtains draped from them. And I mean, they get together and they do all of this. They do all the auction, all on a volunteer basis. So we have a very active working board, which is amazing.
That's terrific.
And you guys always have great silent auction items.
Yes.
But if you still want to donate silent auction items, can you?
Yeah, definitely. You
Because
can
you
either,
can't get tickets anymore, right?
no, pretty much the tickets are gone, but they I actually have 8 left, and they go pretty quick. And all these people that I'm reminding from last year, like, oh my God, it's a good thing you called me, you know, because some people do, because we put on the RSVP up until October 4th, but generally we're totally sold out by
Yeah.
that point.
Wonderful. That's a horrible thing to have to endure.
I know, isn't
Having
it?
a sold out
Sold
event.
event. So what kind of auction items?
Oh, we have a beautiful Koa Rocka, $5,500 rocking
gosh.
chair, all handmade by Mike Neal. He's a local artist, and it's really beautiful. Edmund Tavares always makes a beautiful Koa ukulele every year.
Nice.
And this year, a gentleman, and I don't have the name in front of me, actually made a handmade Koa guitar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
And you guys always have lots of jewelry. And
Jewelry, trips. Seeing I used to be in the jewelry business, so I always get my
your former colleagues.
former colleagues. They know they have to ship from Boston every year something. So
Very good.
Nice.
Very good. Wow. What an evening. This is October 11th.
yep, it starts at 5:30 and goes until 9 p.m. And the entertainment this year is Mel Kabang. I don't know if anyone
Oh,
knows him.
yes. Oh, yes. We know
Been a
Bill.
long time since I've seen him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
He's-
can call you just in case there might be a ticket
Yeah,
available?
I have like 8 tickets left, so I'm not worried about selling out. It's the phone number is 986-8634, or you can always email me at paul@MauiCJC, Children's Justice Center.org.
Great. And if you can't make this event or there aren't tickets available and you want to support, you can always just mail in a check. Go
Always.
online.
We actually get a tremendous amount of donations from people that receive the invitations. This is our signature event every year, and it's always a success, and it continues to grow. We used to do this down in Oluwalu, on the beach,
On the plantation
in the
hub, yeah.
plantation house. And we used to lug the chairs and borrow them from Maui Ocean Center and the King Kamehameha Club, and Richard will tell you. And we used to put them in the back of a big U-Haul and go over and do all the setups ourselves. So that the board's been actively working from day one on our event. They'd be in the kitchen cooking all the food.
Wow.
So,
Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful.
So now some people who get their reminders of or the announcement of this may respond that they can't make the event, but here's our check.
Oh yeah, I get a lot of that actually.
I'll
To be
bet.
honest with you,
I'll bet.
And I just got to tell you that, the Friends of the Children's Justice Center, they do amazing work, and they do it all with one paid staff member, right?
Yes. Yeah,
There's-
I am the only paid staff member, and that's the way we want to keep it. It's just something that has made us successful, and it goes back to our board of directors. They work. They do everything, every event, like the Stand for Children. They man the booths. I mean, yeah, they're active in pretty much everything we do. Our Christmas drive, 1,612 Christmas gifts last year, all wrapped, packaged by our board of directors. And those go out, we don't directly deliver them, those go out again to the children via the social service agencies.
Now, do they shop for the gifts as well?
Well, actually, I don't know if you know Donna and Bob Hanson Realty. They hold a huge Christmas party every year, and I think last year was 300 and some odd gifts came in just through them alone. And then Whole Foods has a drop, Sears has a drop, Wailuku Coffee Company has a drop. So
And
there's
a lot of individuals
just know from tradition of giving gifts every year.
Yeah, my nephew, that's what he does. He has no children, and he has lots of nephews and nieces, and he tells them all that he's not getting them presents. He's just going to buy gifts for Friends of the Children's Justice
Yeah.
Center, and he does it every year.
Wow. And these are usually clothes and
No, they're toys, actual
Toys,
gifts.
okay.
Yeah. Last year I had a gentleman who I know was discontinuing his watch line, Quicksilver, and he had 400 Quicksilver watches
Oh,
that he
wow.
donated to me.
That's wonderful.
And they all needed batteries, and then another gentleman I know in Kihei did all the batteries for me for free. So this
Wonderful.
year we'll have some watches to give out to the teens and stuff.
And gift cards are always good for teens.
Yeah, we usually do the gift cards if anyone's over 12 years old.
Ah,
It's hard to buy a toy for a
Yeah.
15-year-old.
that's true. True.
They're too expensive, their toys.
Yep.
I'll take an iPad and I'll take a...
Yeah.
Although you could donate that too, if you want.
What's that?
An iPad or something to the friends.
We always, education's a big thing. So when the child is transitioning into adulthood, generally the children we are dealing with financially are unable to come up with a lot of things to go to college. So we do supply laptops through the Geist Foundation and the Hughes Foundation and our own non-foundation funds to help these kids to go into college and have the tools they need, like a laptop or an iPad.
My goodness.
Wonderful,
The
wonderful.
reach is so far. Now, once a child is in the system, are they there forever or?
Till 18 years of age.
Okay.
We have to revisit that now because what they've done is the foster children are now going to be covered until 21. So
Which is such a brilliant idea.
correct.
You can't just surround these kids with services for 18 years and then say, okay, bye-bye.
Correct. And that's what's been happening to them. And finally, the state of Hawaii is recognizing that, and they passed a bill that they will cover the children up to 21.
They still need help.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, through college or getting into college or even just trying to find a job, find a place to live. Because a lot of people, once they're 18, whatever living situation they're in is done.
Well, the funds are cut off to the resource caregivers, or they used to be called foster parents. They're resource caregivers now.
Oh, they are?
Yes.
Oh, everything is changing.
Yes.
That's very recent then.
Yeah, and
So you
it's a nice
foster-
name.
You foster puppies and you resource give to
Caregive.
children.
Yeah.
To children.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm okay.
I actually like the name, caregiver,
Yeah.
giving care.
Yes, and that's what you're doing when you take a child in.
Right.
Hmm. Especially a child that needs a simple place,
Mm-hmm.
simple, decent place to live.
Well, a normal environment, as we were talking about earlier.
Right.
Structure.
Now, one of the things that you had on your website were some things about how to recognize when a child is being abused, or some of the tendencies that you see come out when a child has been abused. Can you go into a little bit of that?
Yeah, I mean, we got a great website, and again, that's all done pro bono by one of my board members. But yeah, a child's withdrawing, or you're seeing marks on a child, changes in behaviors, anger. I mean, there's a whole list if you go onto the website of different things to look for. And, we're working right now on updating the mandated reporting video. We did make it back in 2000 for the state.
What is that?
It's basically any person in a professional environment, a teacher,
Doctor.
a social doctor, right, what the rules are under the state law.
When they have to report or what they have to
or
report.
what they have to report. So we're actually, we have a videographer who had his own TV show and everything, and he is actually doing pro bono. He's doing all the videotaping for us. Akaku gave us a space to utilize for it, and then we're going to update it with the community members that are involved in the mandated reporting, saying the prosecutor's office and different type of entities to come in and produce this video.
Yeah, because the regular confidentiality rules don't apply if
No.
you know that a child or you suspect a child is being abused or neglected.
And the thing is, too, if you suspect a child is being abused, and even if you're not in that profession, morally you need to protect the child because they don't have anyone to protect them.
Absolutely. If you hear those screams from your neighbor's house and they're not normal screams, they're
Yeah.
not screams of joy,
Yep.
then intervene. You don't have to personally get involved, right?
Oh, it's anonymous if you call Child Welfare Service. You're not, they don't report who reported. But the thing is, like, I grew up in a very violent home, and they used to close you could hear the neighbors closing the windows, when the beating started, and that's what the old-fashioned way to do it, But today.
It didn't happen. Is
Yeah,
what? Is,
yeah,
Was
yeah,
everybody's
If they couldn't
reaction to
hear it, yeah, you
Yeah.
know. So
Well, and everybody sort of had the mentality that, way back in the day that spanking was okay. And it was really hard to determine what the line was between spanking and beating.
correct.
I remember my parents, they struck us. They never beat us, but they struck us. And it was totally acceptable. Everybody did.
And that's a big debate nowadays, which I won't get into my own opinion on it, but but like they're bringing up into the laws like using objects, a belt, a stick. I mean that's
Did that.
yeah,
What else?
yeah. But I'm saying
Slippers were big in Hawaii.
where is the point? Yeah, where is the point of discipline and actually abuse?
Yes, exactly.
And again, it could go back to the way your parents were brought up. That's how they were taught to discipline a child. It's nothing against the parent. That's they're using the tools they needed.
Well, and we now know that there are better ways of communication and sitting down and talking to children, even young children. You just got to learn how to communicate with them in a different way about their behavior is wrong and this is why and these are the consequences. And
I teach at Hui Malama, and I also teach at a boys' home for some children that have had problems. And the whole thing is, too, and that's what I talk to them about, you have different options than to react to things that get you into situations, of your behavior. And again, no one sat down and offered these tools to these children. They've watched and mimicked what they've learned, and that's how they learn how to react in life.
And you know what will happen now if you strike your kid? The kid will walk over and dial CPS or threaten, I'm going to call CPS on you.
Yeah.
And, some of my friends have said, okay.
Go ahead.
Yes. Or when you take away their video game, I'm going to call CPS.
And CPS and Child Welfare Service is, they do a great job investigating because, there is kids that are going to do that. I mean, but they don't just go in and haul out the child and, disrupt the family and put accusations. They really go out and do a good job.
And that's why you shouldn't
investigating.
be afraid to make that anonymous call about the neighbor because even if you're wrong, that's okay because it'll turn out all right. If you're right, you could save a life.
Correct. And that's the thing. Not only a life, a lot of these children that are abused when they get older, they turn to drugs and alcohol.
Or abuse themselves.
Or self-abuse, a lot of things. Or they get into abusive relationships.
Yeah.
So it continues on into the adult, or they become abusers through their anger or their drug and alcohol abuse.
Yeah. So it needs to stop.
So it's not just one life.
Right.
No, it's breaking the cycle.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Paul Tomlinson.
Yes.
For joining us today. We appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today on Maui Nonprofit Notes. This show is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice, our choice. If you are building or remodeling your home, please stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui.
And today we visited with the folks from Maui Family Support Services and the Friends of the Children's Justice Center. We thank Shannon and Paul for being here with us. We encourage everyone out there to get involved by giving, advocating, or volunteering for your favorite nonprofit. Do it today. What are you waiting for? Mahalo for tuning in, and don't forget to join us again next week when we'll be right here at 11:10 a.m., 96.7 FM, KAOI Radio. We'll be featuring representatives from 2 more member agencies of the Maui Nonprofit Directors Association. Until then, I'm Susie Tiemann.
And Sherry Dotson.
And we're saying aloha and have a great week.
Aloha.